Like, I'm telling you, this is all you need to make a whole bunch of sphagnum moss.
You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
So the sphagnum moss growing in this container with my Nepenthes is near perfect. It can be a little bit brighter, it can be a little bit darker, but for the most part, this is doing well. Now, sphagnum moss primarily thrives in specific environments such as peatlands or bogs, and these type of environments are characterized by waterlogged soil, low nutrient levels, high acidity, low decomposition, and biodiversity. Knowing what are the perfect conditions for sphagnum moss to grow will assist you immensely. Alright, so this is a container that's holding my helium 4 along with some sphagnum moss, and you can see that though it's hydrated, it's burned at the tips. This is because it's sitting so close to the light source. And this sphagnum moss is sitting a good distance away from the light source, and that's why it appears darker than the initial shot that I had of sphagnum moss in the beginning of this video. Okay, so first things first, get yourself some sphagnum moss. The dried out kind, long sphagnum moss fibers. I think that's how it's labeled in Home Depot or Lowe's. But yeah, get yourself a bundle. You're going to hydrate it using distilled water. These 4 plants need to be repotted into larger containers. You won't see it in this video, but I will be sure to make a subsequent video showing you how I repot Venus flytraps and pitcher plants with live sphagnum moss. And then the way that this is going to work is I'm going to take whichever plants have live sphagnum moss growing abundantly on them. I'm going to trim them all up using scissors. When you do something like this, you never want to go lower than 1/8 of an inch when cutting the live sphagnum moss. I find that the smaller that you cut the live sphagnum moss in order to propagate it, it will grow more full in the end. There is no shame in cutting larger pieces, and those will grow just as easily. But for me, I find more success when the strands are between 1/8 of an inch and 1/2 of an inch. Maybe even up to an inch, but usually I stop around 1/2 of an inch. There's no special way to cut it outside of the strand length, so get yourself a pair of some very sharp scissors and go for it. After cutting it up, throw your sphagnum moss in the distilled water, making sure that it absorbs as much water as it can. And right after you believe it's fully hydrated, throw it right on top of your growing medium. Sphagnum moss contains specialized cells called hyaline cells, which are transparent and lack chlorophyll. These cells can efficiently absorb and store water. They have large pores that allow water to move into the cells. Sphagnum moss utilizes capillary action to draw water from the surrounding environment into its cells. The hyaline cells at the tip of the moss branches are particularly adept at this, creating a gradient that moves water up through the plant. While hyaline cells lack chlorophyll and cannot perform photosynthesis, the green cells in the upper parts of the moss contain chlorophyll and can photosynthesize. They convert sunlight into energy, which is used to drive the capillary action and pump water into the moss. So pretty much sphagnum moss grows by adding new cells to the top of its branches. As the moss photosynthesizes and accumulates water, it can expand and grow in height and width. The unique combination of water-absorbing cells, capillary action, and photosynthesis allows sphagnum moss to thrive in waterlogged environments while continuing to grow and create characteristic peat formations and peatlands. All in all, if it's difficult for you to grow a plant, this is kind of like growing algae. It's very simple, very straightforward, and as long as you provide adequate conditions for the sphagnum moss to grow, it will grow.
You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.